Today, no products. What happened?
Products are in the mind.
Hey everybody, this is Steven.
And this is Alan.
And welcome to another episode of Paint Talk. Today, no products. What happened?
Products are in the mind.
So, today we're going to be talking about painters. We're going to be talking about how to hire painters, manage painters, and really what we're going to be talking about is kind of our philosophy on it.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start. One of the things that I see, well, basically we get asked about painters as much as probably more than we get asked about products actually.
Yep.
We're franchisors, so we have franchise locations across the nation now, and more than we get asked about paint, more than we get asked even about estimating, we get probably some of the most questions about how do I find good painters, hire them, manage them, all that kind of stuff. And for those of you who are painters watching this, and some of you might be skeptical about franchising, we'd love to talk to you. It's you need to know we come from like a really good place and a real good heart on it. Yeah. And that's kind of comes briefly back to my first philosophy is you got to respect the trade.
Absolutely.
Right? Like as much as being a franchisor and having franchisees come into the system is about business and marketing, all those other things, like if you don't respect the trade, don't get into it.
Absolutely, yeah.
You got to respect the trade. And one of the things we even try to encourage our painters is wear painter whites, right? Like wear your painter whites, be proud to be a painter.
Absolutely.
And if you don't respect the trade, like you're gonna have a hard time selling the business or selling the product and the services that you offer. Yeah. And respecting the trade, I think it starts with the uniform, right? Painter's whites. Why? Yeah, the image. Well, if I go to Home Depot right now, if I went to a store, if I walk to any job site, I can't tell if you're a plumber or a carpenter. Yeah. I can't tell if you're an electrician or a drywaller. Yeah. Right? I can't tell if you're a framer, or a concrete guy. But I walk up to any job site, I can tell who the painter is. Yeah. Right? I think we should be proud of that. I think we should just totally own it and wear painter whites. And I think that's like a very small thing, but it represents a bigger philosophy, which is respect the trade that you're in. Like you're not a general contractor, you're not a framer, you're not an electrician, you're not a plumber. Yeah. You are a painter. And if you're a franchisee of ours, you are the owner of a painting business, and you should fall in love with the trade. You should love paint products. You should love the process. You should believe in it, and you should have a high level of respect for the trade, and just totally own it. That would be my biggest thing. And I think if you do that, even if you don't have a ton of experience and you're trying to start a franchise, or if you're just a painter trying to grow your business, when people see that you respect your trade and you care, they'll want to work for you because they'll respect you. And so that'd be probably where I'd start.
Yeah. That's huge. I think that's number one, like most important thing is to respect the trade. And I think that's where a lot of other competitors of ours really fail because the other thing too is that you and I have talked a lot about this. Yeah. So many guys out there don't know when to say no, and so they start off as painters, and then all of a sudden they're building decks, they're installing fences, and they're GCs, and they're tearing down walls, and all of a sudden and so in that regard too, like if you're trying to build a business, like you need to decide what you are and what you aren't. And I know that you and I have talked a lot about that, even when times were getting tough or when we didn't really know exactly, or when there was it's not always bad times. Sometimes you're getting too many opportunities. Yep. And anyways.
Yeah, if it's slow, you're like, well, should I offer more services to get more business? Or sometimes it is literally you're busy and then everybody's asking, could you also do this? Could you also do that? Could you also add this?
So it's an easy temptation.
And pretty soon you're replacing the tile in the shower and the kitchen cabinets and putting in the fence and I'm a roofer today. Yep. And what that shows is one, you might not respect your trade and you certainly don't respect the other trade.
Absolutely.
Like if you just suddenly think you're a roofer tomorrow, right? Without any, you're not going to go through any training. You're not going to, I don't know. I think there should be a general respect for trades.
Absolutely.
I don't think that every tradesman should become a general contractor. No. I always joke, I've been asked a whole bunch of times, why didn't you become a general contractor? Your business was growing so much. Why didn't you just take on tile and take on floors and all that kind of stuff? And it's like, look, I would actually do that under a new business before I would add it to this business.
Agreed.
Because what I don't like about being a general contractor is basically you are the person that has all the trades lying to you about their timelines and when they'll show up, and then you have to go then sell that lie to the customer. Now that's probably really That's like a very negative way
jaded.
of putting. That's
You're
a jaded
a little
way.
Jaded, Steven.
I just feel, look, there's amazing GCs and builders out there, and there's obviously ones that are great.
Not. No, I'm just kidding.
We just lost like 100 subs.
Prove it. There's amazing GCs? Name one. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Jaded.
There's amazing GCs in other cities. So, yeah, I'm just kidding. No, I know some good ones.
Yeah, there are.
For sure. And the problem with GCs that I find is the worst GCs don't respect any of the trades.
Right.
They're just in it to make their 10-20%, right?
Yeah.
And they don't give a crap about the trades. They don't give a crap about the quality. Those are the worst. The ones who care, the ones who actually care, who are have general respect for each of the trades.
Yep. And understand that they're all different.
They'll all have different processes and different needs. Those GCs can be truly great. Mm-hmm. But that being said, I still wouldn't want to be a GC even if I was a great one. And it's because I would rather focus on one thing and do it really, really well.
Yeah.
And build a bigger and bigger team and do more and more of that one thing.
Yep.
Now, of course, in painting, we do some drywall repair, but we don't do new construction drywall.
Right.
We do some, like we'll paint some floors, but we don't really do too much like garages and epoxies, and like we don't really like to do concrete staining. Yeah. So like we set some lines, right? Definitely. So we did take on some services, but then we pretty quickly found where that line should be, and often it's like it's basically getting anything ready for the paint job, right, in my opinion, but not doing another job. Yeah, it's like I'll repair the deck, but I'm not gonna build a deck, right? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna repair some siding or replace a couple pieces, but I'm not gonna become a siding guy and replace all the siding around the home.
Yeah, you have to know when to say no, and you have to know, exactly who you are and who you're not. And I would say, like you were talking about, respecting the trade is knowing what that trade is, and when you try
respecting the trade, learning when to say no.
Yeah, it's a huge deal. And one of the things that I always tell people is like the reason we don't take on all that stuff, and we've had customers straight out ask us. I mean, we've had customers over the years say, "Hey, I would really appreciate it if you would GC my renovation project or whatever else," because they were so happy with our communication and just our customer service, right? And unfortunately, a lot of the trades, a lot of GCs don't have that. Anyhow, I would say that we've always learned to stay in our lane because we know we can deliver on paint 7 days a week, 24 hours a day.
You can go a lot faster if you stay in one lane.
Yep.
If you keep switching lanes, you slow down.
Yep.
And if you stay in one lane, you can just get your team to operate more and more efficiently, and then pick up the pace.
It's easier to create systems too, because if you're trying to do too many things, like franchising is all about systems. And so one thing that we've learned is like, when you try to take on too much, you actually don't do anything well. You just do everything okay. But when you get hyper focused on your exact craft, then you can develop and perfect. Not that perfect exists, but you're always perfecting that system as best as you can. And that's, at the end of the day, it's most beneficial for the painter. So a lot of times companies are having a hard time hiring and recruiting and keeping great painters, but it's because, like you said, they don't respect the trade and they're not clearly defined. They're not truly a painting company. They're more like, I'll do whatever the homeowner asks or whatever the need is. And there's an element to that that's okay, but sometimes
the problem is a lot of painters are fairly handy.
Yeah.
And so like painting companies will start to tack on too much other handiwork because there's ability, but then efficiency drops. And then when efficiency drops, profitability drops for your painters, everybody. So yeah, that's huge. The other thing I would say philosophically that Steven and I learned, and we've implemented a lot in That One Painter, and I say it's a big failure from a lot of our competitors is, you have to treat your employees really well. You need to create a whether
culture.
That's employees or subs or whoever.
It doesn't matter. However you hire them, it doesn't matter.
You should feel like your subs are part of your team.
Absolutely.
Like that's one of the biggest problems I see too. Is they'll switch to a subcontractor model, and then I don't have to treat them like employees at all. No, you still got to be like a really kind, nice person that people want to work for.
Absolutely.
Whether or not they're subs or employees.
Yes, because the truth is no matter what, no matter how you're paying and no matter how you're structuring it, it is a culture, right, that you're trying to establish. Everyone wants to work at a healthy work culture. Doesn't really matter how you have it structured. And I see so many painting companies out there that they just it's like that whole like Chick-fil-A versus McDonald's. Mm-hmm. Like Chick-fil-A always has like the nicest people, right? And they always have like no problem. It seems like hiring. Nice yeah, exactly. Because they're all the high school kids and all that stuff. Like all those people, they want to work at Chick-fil-A. Yep. And McDonald's is like always scraping the bottom of the barrel, and it's because the work culture sucks, and everyone knows that, so they don't want to be there, Yeah. And so even though they pay the same. It's not really anything different in pay. It's just the culture is very different. And so oftentimes people are like, well, how are you attracting painters? Like, our painters feel respected, cared for. We have fun with our painters. Yeah, we do giveaways. We do the things that you would want your boss or your employer to do. All the stuff that you think you would want your boss to do. If you're not doing those in your business and you're waiting for like the day you grow, you'll never grow.
And then it's also the way that you handle problems.
Yes.
Right? Like absolutely. One of the things that I've seen is like, and it's tempting because like there's times where the project goes south.
Yeah.
Right? So it's tempting to throw the painter under the bus. Mm-hmm. But that, like, look, like we've had painters royally screw up jobs, and we didn't just throw them under the bus. We retrained them, and they're now amazing.
Yep.
We've had some guys that just had to go.
Yeah.
But like, I think, having a culture where you immediately just blame the painter instead of, what if the customer make the job more difficult? Mm-hmm. Were there other elements here that happened that made this mistake happen or this delay? And so I think that had that attitude of like, all right, let's actually investigate what happened and then give the benefit of the doubt to the painter. And then even if he made a mistake, say, all right, how do we learn from this and do better on the next one, rather than just like getting into like an argument with them or throwing them under the bus in front of the customer, something like that. That's not going to ever go all over well.
Yeah, like Steve and I, we've always talked about is that even people that we fire are going to leave. Like we want to bless them as they go.
Bless as they go, absolutely.
I mean, that's something that I would tell you, most of you guys who are in business ownership, like it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a day you're going to want to let someone go, and you're going to want to do it in anger. You're going to want to do it out of like spitefulness. Like we're all human, right? And when you get screwed, you get screwed.
Yes.
And there's a reason it doesn't feel good. And so
one of the things we
have to learn
done really, like, a couple of rules we have. We never fire a painter on the job site.
Yeah.
Because that is just, you don't want drama at the job site.
Nope.
Okay? And then as much as you are able to afford or within reason, pay out the final check.
Yeah.
Even if they don't really deserve it, just for peace, and so you don't have to have a subcontractor swinging by your office every week.
Yeah.
Things like that, just pay out the final check. Mm-hmm. Like, I know it's going to hurt, it's going to suck, it's going to hurt your profits on that job. Pay out the final check as much as you can.
Yep. Maybe
agree on a deduction, but if you have a subcontractor or an hourly person or whoever really screw up something and you just try to like take away that whole last check, you're making enemies, and you don't need to do that.
It's just easier to move past it.
Just move that on. Go make money on the next one.
Yep.
And so, we've had painters we fired, and then they came back. Maybe they went to another company that they were able to get some more experience.
Yep.
They realized where they were wrong. They realized they were being careless or arrogant. Came back with more humility, ready to learn. And some of those painters that we did fire now became actually our top painter right now. He does the most work for us out of any crew. We fired him, and he was gone for how long was he gone? Like 8 months.
Almost a year.
Almost a year. So, and now he's back and he's our top crew. So second chances are allowed. Be careful who you give second chances to, but certainly consider it.
Yeah.
One last thing. Painters should always buy their own tools. This is hourly, subs, whoever. And this is a brush that was left out here at our office, painting an accent wall, one of our own painters. And this brush, I think, is around $14 plus tax. And even if we put this in a brush cleaner, it's not going to go back to normal. And so remember, you got to respect the trade. Painters, you also need to respect your tools.
Yeah.
That's from your brush to your sprayer. Respect your tools, right? Because your tools make you the craftsman that you are. So respect your tools.
Make them buy them, because then they will respect them.
Make your painters buy their own tools. Don't ever. That's including spray tips, rollers, roller covers, brushes. We purchase things like tape, sandpaper, the things that are clearly designed to be 1 to 5 uses, something like that. Brushes can last for years if you take care of them.
Yeah.
Roller covers can last for months if you take care of them.
Yeah.
Spray tips can last longer or shorter based on how well you take care of it. So respect the tools.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I think that obviously we have learned a lot of things over the years, and there's a lot we could say project management wise. I would say that.
Oh yeah, this is going to be a 6-hour conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot, and it's why
with some really good stories.
It's why people buy our franchise.
But yeah, if you want to hear the stories, the great stories, the scary stories, but if you want really truly what we learned from all of those things, that's what we have in our franchise package. All of our training, our 100 hours of training, whatever it is, it's hundreds. I don't know. We're adding to it all the time. I've lost count, but it's a ridiculous amount of training. Ridiculous amount of step-by-step written procedures, and that's why you get into a franchise. Even you guys out there who are like, I've been painting forever, I don't need a franchise, just talk to us, consider it. That's what I would say. This isn't really an episode about selling franchises, but look, we believe in what we do. We really do, and we really do believe that we can add a lot of value to anybody who wants to start a painting business.
Absolutely.
Or who wants to maybe transform or improve his painting business.
Yep.
So, thanks for watching, and stick around for some more episodes.
Thanks, guys.